Hello everyone, we got the global patch notes for March 21st. This is a big one, so strap in. It's going to be taking a little bit of time. First off, we got Succession Warrior getting a slight PvP buff again, or adjustment. The PvE damage is also being slightly adjusted, so a bit of counterbalancing. Same thing happening to the Sorg, so pretty much recent buffs, it's now being adjusted the other way again. Ranger is now getting touched up. They're pretty much changing the way skills link and the control keys for it. So Ranger mains, do look out for this next patch. You can prepare a little bit for it. There's some the range DP reduction is being changed to all. There's also some defense reducing changes from 20 to 30 on Thrill of Nature or a flow skill. Overall, a lot of damage buffs being dealt out across the board again with matching PvP numbers. Awakening is the bigger affected one. A lot of skills are being changed, movement distance wise, crit chance wise. Do look into this next patch once we get the proper class names. Otherwise, I can highly recommend Black Desert Foundry. They do translate the skill names properly instead of just the regular translation. This is going to be a big overhaul for Awakened Ranger. This might throw a wrench in things. Overall, though, big PvE buffs with matching PvP reductions going across the board for Awakened Ranger. Archer getting slight adjustments, so an air attack is being removed off a skill, and again some balancing on the PvE and PvP damage of the Archer after the recent buffs. Hash is the biggest one that's being affected again next to Ranger. It is being adjusted for the concept of air attacks, and so making it difficult to use the knockdown, but a high damage of air attacks can be utilized after the lift. So there is being changes. Well, River slash skill has been removed, and River slash piercing blade skill has been added. So that is a skill change. Overall, there's a long range explosion attack being adjusted. Pretty much across the board, Hash is getting a lot of changes. The biggest one to note is that they're moving a lot of skills to a forward guard or adding a forward guard to incentivize the facing of the enemy. There's some cooldown reductions for some skills. I think Hash players will need to look at their class again and definitely consider going into things again and, well, theory crafting a little bit. There's also some changes of stamina use being removed from some skills, and for that the mana being used instead. Cooldowns being reduced, super armor and invincibility effects being adjusted. So again, do go through this slowly. It is gaining some extra HP per hit on some skills, like the Advent of the Apostle skill, which is a flow skill. Also, some flows are in general being increased. AP buffs, so their PA is continuing with the trend of unifying CCs, unifying, well, super armors and frontal guards on some classes, and they're definitely unifying the AP DP, well, AP buffs, DP debuffs of skills and movement speed debuffs. The All's trap technique has been changed as well. They've changed it to a passive skill. When learning a skill, the effect of a sand trap skill changes. So that is a change of a skill through another. They're lowering the stamina consumption. Before change, there was on Sandstorm or Sandstone. There was a super armor until attack action invincibility while disappeared. That is now being changed to a super armor using a skill, invincibility, and super armor. There's another cooldown reduction on the All's command, All's domain as well. The effect of inflicting 50 pain damage every 10 seconds for 10 seconds when hitting has been removed, so pain being removed again, all of evasion rate being removed, but for that it's also gaining it on other skills again. Damage buffs across the board with matching PvP reduction rates, a little bit at least. I mean, this one's going up by almost 2k percent, but it's only going up by 2% in the PvP damage reduction. So there could be some PvP gains as well for a Succession Hash. Awaken Hash being less affected this time around. They've changed that the super armor effect applies only during the return movement during the Hourglass technique. They've added some forward guards to some skills and reduced some cooldowns by a second once it's fully upgraded. Shai and Nova bubbles and ice walls are being massively changed. This is due to their use in Stronghold and Occupation battles being used as a strategic choice. They're no longer going to be blocking the external attacks in both cases. For the Shai, the all-speed reduction effect on enemies has been removed. However, a plus 50% evasion rate to allies except yourself is given in the area. There's a minus 50% hit rate or accuracy reduction on all enemies. The cooldown has been pushed down from 5 to 4 minutes, and the area that is affected has actually grown for the Shai. In the case of the Nova, we have a similar thing of the cooldown being reduced from 4 to 3 minutes. There's also a mention of the Kratom protective state changes to a state where movement is impossible. This state is removed when using another skill. There's also a certain period of time where damage received by the guard gauge when guarding forward is reduced by 10, 15, or 20% depending on the level of the Kratom's defense skill. For a succession, if you have acquired Kratom's defensive skills, Kratom will be imbued with the power of Oxyon. His shield will become larger, and the following effects will be strengthened for 20 seconds. So in this case, you will be able to move in a dustproof state of Tribunner, so you can move a little bit in the skill if you're a succession. When you're guarding in this state, your amount of damage received by the guard gauge is reduced by 99%, and all allies behind you will gain a plus 50 defense, except yourself. So the buff effect or protection effect from both of them is only being applied to allies now. It is no longer being self-applied. The other effect is, well, the cooldown has been reduced for that. It could cause some issues. Definitely watch out for Khan usage. Since Khan use just came back, it will be gone again. Don't get your entire guild killed when going for Khan. There's also a small fix for the Kratom's defense being fixed, where the Kratom's defense state would occasionally be removed when Q input was held while moving left or right. This has also been fixed for the Nova to facilitate these changes. Awakened Sage is getting a small change on a flow skill where you can now change the direction right before the attack, and they fixed an issue on a flash breakthrough skill, which looks like a BSR skill. So it would not hit the target's close range to Sage, and the movement after the attack speed has been modified to be more natural. Then we have the Ataraxian 5-person co-op raid being released. This is coming with the next patch. So if you follow Or's traces, you will see a powerful leader waiting for you at the end, and after meeting and fighting Kasawin, the guardian of the fortress in Or's garden, you can finally challenge the boss and obtain the Holy Believer's Dagger. The normal recommended attack power is 300 AP and 380 DP. For Elvia, a recommended AP of 330 is given, with a DR recommendation of 420. Or's Paradise, we have the reward boxes. So when you enter, we'll get the Elvia keys, you get the Orzekea the Void box, then you get a Tongputa ham, Kalon ham, and Kalon ham again for the weekly if you do normal. We're going to be looking at this in a second. So I translated these. We have Or's Precious box, which again has the standard dungeon box rewards. However, we can also see 10 Crystals of the Void for the first Elviac player. For the second Elviac player, a total of 7 Crystals of Void. And for the normal runs, 3 Crystals of Void. So this might become an easy way to get them. You need 30 for each crystal upgrade, so 2 weeks and you should get 1 crystal upgrade. Otherwise, you also get the reward boxes, which is the standard accessory box. It is pretty much up to a rating of Try, which includes all the Devos, Vaha's Dawn, and the Black Disto and Turo Belt. So that is the current rewards on the dungeon once you complete it. They've also added some extra titles to this by defeating the final boss and Elvia, respectively. When you challenge, you will also get some extra rewards, just as they mentioned in the last patch. The red battlefield has been now completely overhauled. It will be completely overhauled. So in the future, adventurers need to note that the damage reduction effect that is activated when your HP is low during a battle, and the maximum HP increase effect upon entry has been removed. So that is being removed completely. It is being turned into a matchmaking system, so you will no longer be able to open up a map. When the matchmaking is available just like in AOS, you cannot use any Traveler's Map, Archaeologist Map, Telescope, or Compasses while you're matchmaking. There are some penalties imposed if you do not move or leave the red battlefield. These penalties will be increasing the more you do it. The first time you do it, you will not be able to enter for 3 minutes, then 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. On the 5th step, 1 hour. On step 6, 3 hours. And then finally, on step 7, you will be blocked from entering the battlefield for 24 hours. So overall, if it only happens once on a disconnect, it's not too bad of a penalty. Overall, as well, it is being changed that the first battle will always start in the castle ruins, and the area will change periodically. Camouflage effects will no longer apply in Red Battlefield. The progress time of the battlefield has been changed from 20 to 15 minutes. With this change, also the current entry time has been changed from 10 minutes after the battle starts to 3 minutes. And the number of people is being changed from 60 down to 40. So it's a 20 versus 20 in most cases. The Unbreakable Protection effect, or the DR effect that applies when your HP is below 50 is being removed, and the maximum health effect gained upon entry has been removed. Battlefield tokens will also move into the currency exchange. As such, the gold bar reward is being removed in case of victory, but the 5 battlefield tokens for a win is being changed to 25, and on a loss, you will no longer get 3, you will get 10. The exchanges for the tokens are also being shown. Twice a week, you have a Debo, well, for 80 tokens, a Debo. Then 10 times a week, you can grab some Courages or Deep Seas for 3 tokens each. 3 times a week, you can grab Whale Tendons for 1 token each. And once a week, you can also grab 5 Tears of the Battlefield for a single token. Always exchangeable are the Red Essence Gold Box and a 100G gold bar, so that would be 1 token equals 10 mil. And when you open the gold ingot box, you can obtain a 1 kg to 10 kg of gold ingots. So maybe you want to RNG roll it, or you just go for the guaranteed cash. The quests are also being removed, so they've been changed to now exchange for various items through the integrated goods, so the rewards in the quests are being integrated into this reward system. The experience characters have been changed to not be able to use experience characters. Okay, I'm not sure what they mean with experience characters in this case. It could be trial characters. No, trial characters can use Red Battlefield anyway. Either way, seasonal characters also can no longer use Red Battlefield, so you will be only going toe-to-toe with other players. Guild League is also coming back now. The Guild League will start on the regular maintenance on March 26th, or the regular maintenance will start March 26th and will run to May 28th. A total of 3 matching groups will now be created for Guild League. So they are divided into 3 groups, one called the Guild Guardians, then the first and second Guardians. The scores will only be based on the results of matches between Guild Guardian groups. The Guild Guardian groups will be matched with other Guild Guardian groups in priority. However, if no match is found, they will match against their own fellow team. In the case of the result of the Guild Guardian matches, the result of the Guild Guardian matches will be reflected in the Guild League scores if they get matched against their first team, while the result of the first and second Guild matches will not reflect in the scores. They are also adding some rules for applying to Guild League mass based on the matching group. So the Guild Guardian is available from being 7 or more members connected to the guild. If there's 14 or more, you can go to the first Guardian, and the second Guardian is if there are 21 or more members connected to the guild. And you always have to first apply the Guild Guardian, then the first, then the second. The rewards are also being adjusted, so pretty much we're getting 1 extra kg gold bar. The perfumes are going up by 2, including the whale tendons. We're also getting a forest thread reward, and the essences are remaining. There is the essence of courage, sorry, the essence of glory being removed from the rewards. That is a bit of a downside. Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. So the PvP match doesn't. Or is it just more AP you have, the more you just kill? I mean, if you're talking about the red battlefield, I mean, there's just no more season characters. Experience, I'm not too sure, but we'll look at it in a second. So overall, we get extra rewards. The defeat reward is also being just doubled in the KG gold bars, or not quite doubled. It is 500 extra mil. You get a double of your potions that you used. The essences remain the same. The rules are pretty much also staying the same. The time frame is remaining. The number of participants will remain between 7 to 10, maximum 10 people. Match duration is still 20 minutes. The victory condition also remains at 1,000 kills, 50 points for the first kill. Resurrection and penalties still apply. The battlefields that will be available are the Northern Guard Camp, the Navarne Steppe, which has also been scaled down by roughly 20%, then the Field of Honor, and the Taftar Plain, and the Palace. The Gyeongbuk Palace will also remain. The Guild League battle results are also coming back. Guild League rankings, again, upon victory, 30 ranking points are gained. When you lose, 15 are deducted. The lower your points, the more extra points you get added for a win, and 7 points and appropriate for the loss. There's the dormancy penalty coming back. So if you do not play within 5 days, 30 points will be deducted every 2 days, or 50 or 40, depending on your point range. Matching system and scoring ranges are also coming back. So up to 1,000. Well, before the change, it was up to 1,801. Now it is being drizzled down into smaller groups. You will generally try to be matched with your appropriate group. The combat gains are also still here. So when defeated at a level 64, it's 0.21. At a win, it's 0.3% towards 65, and up to 0.01 from 67 to 68, or 0.02 from 67 to 68 on a win. Hardcore server is getting an integrated ranking UI. This is updated every time an adventurer logs out, or every day at midnight after a certain amount of time has passed. The ranking of all adventurers is updated. You cannot check your ranking during the time when it is being calculated. There are more mysterious warriors appearing, aka Pit of Undying Warriors, appearing in the desert. They will provide yellow to red grade accessories with big points in Atman Temple. It is Ascendra, Gotharenza, and Shiazar. The loot from Leighton and Peturum is being adjusted again. It is being pushed up a little bit further into the blue grade and yellow grade accessories and armors, it seems. Yeah, weapons and accessories. So overall, better drops on the bosses. The drop rate of equipment boxes when defeating ancient weapons is being increased again. The probability also of blue gear equipment from Desert Nagas, TTM, and Crescent is being increased. Survival points gained from Galha's bandits and Pilaku prisoners are also being increased. Traveler map cooldowns are being changed from 10 minutes with validity of 20 to a 3-minute cooldown, but also item validity of 3 minutes. Unknown Travelers maps have been added to the sales list, so you can obtain one of the 4 maps that lead to each area. When you open a Desert Naga item, you can obtain one of the 4 items below. When you use the item, you'll be transported to a location specified for each item. I think this might be a bit off. Desert Naga 1, 2, 3, 4. Either it's going to be a map that just takes you different spots there, because I've noticed when I use the teleport, I end up near people immediately. That can be a bit of a reason for this. It could also be just an RNG box. If you're unsure where to go, you can get a bit of a add-on. Adonis Fireflies have also been added to the list of the shop sales, if you need it. Akman Temple, the Dark Spirit energy is being removed, so the monsters have been weakened and are waiting for the challenge of adventurers. Some quest adjustments have been made, so depending on your survival score points, you will be getting bigger quests for Akhman Temple mobs and Pilaku mobs. The Wandering Merchants are getting their prices reduced. Then we also have an extra exchanges for all the hardcore tokens. We're going for 10 hardcore tokens for a 6 times 10G gold bars, or 100 points for 6 100G gold bars if you don't want to RNG it on the gold boxes. These are more guaranteed. They've also changed the Enraged Crescent Guardians to no longer inflict status effects, knockdown, or when attacking. They've also changed the Light of Concentration to no longer appear in the desert area near the Sanctuary. And they've changed so that special buff defects do not stack. Then we have the Crumbling Gold and Silver Treasure in the Fortunate Pig Cave being changed to Shining Gold and Silver Treasures. The price and weight will remain the same. There's some adjustments for the Ataraxian Orzekea mobs already. The Spirit Body summoned when killing Orzekea has been changed to use its skills when it gets closer to surrounding monsters. They've also fixed an issue with Orzekea's pre-attack range display not matching the actual range. Then we have the big guild missions update. Overall, we are still limited by 10 missions. However, guild missions will now be able to be grabbed from any server, anywhere. So, for example, you can now accept guild missions anytime, anywhere, regardless of the server. You can check the records of accepting and completing guild missions, manage your guild more systematically. In addition, guild missions such as fishing, cooking, and alchemy will no longer have a time limit once the guild mission is completed. Even if you leave, it will allow you to pick them up when you return. Subjugation missions, which we used to be split up into different zones, have been changed to kill all monsters, and log and ores have also been changed to common logs and ores. For that, we also have a quick translation picture. Overall, we can see here a kill any monsters 1,250 for a small guild. The remaining time is 110. It also now lists the person who grabbed the quest. On mission history, you get another pop-up that shows you when the mission was received. And also, they've changed the rewards, but we'll see that in a second. So, now, pretty much they've changed that you can accept any missions you want directly from the guild missions list, regardless of the server. So you'll be able to filter by what you're looking for. Guild size appropriate as well. The 10-minute cooldown before you can acquire the guild missions has also been removed. They've improved so the system, well, when you have completed the mission, the remaining time will no longer flow, so it will freeze the time in place, and you can complete it due to this at any time. Monster slaying missions have been integrated into slay any monster missions. Then we have for the life specific foraging missions being changed again. This is just another adjustments. So a new mission to collect fire horns has also been obtained through the hunting content, and they've added a number of bartering missions for ocean captains into the life tab. And missions that are currently inoperable due to trade content removal have also been removed. The missions for hard mode bosses and Ataraxian bosses are being added, so you can clear them. However, for the Ataraxian guild missions, if you fail to hit the boss during the final phase, or you are dead during the final phase, the mission completion will not be met, so you need to be alive during the boss dying. The summoning scroll fragments used to summon the guild bosses is being adjusted as well. So they've been combined into one, allowing you to obtain all the leader summoning fragments by completing just one mission. The Khan is being unified from 5 to 4 as well, and the icon of the Khan summoning scroll has also been adjusted, so we have 2 new symbols here. And all missions that allow you to obtain guild leader summoning scroll fragments can be found in the subjugation category. So you'll be able to grab them. We can see a few in this filter coming up, and here we also see a few summoning scrolls. The other big change is you will only need to do one mission for one summon. So that is another really big change. So no longer completing 4 missions for a single summon, one summon and you're done. Then we have a description and quest summary for the Winter Troublemaker Tori has been improved, and a small change for the growth support, Blackstar weapon, and the Karazad. Some descriptions have been added. Occupation, or Nodewar / Stronghold War. They've increased the defense power of the Beleno Serentia strongholds. Same for Medaya and Valencia. by 4 and 4.6%. The durability of the Calfia and Camisovia strongholds has been increased by 20%. Same for the Belenos and Serendia by 30%. The defense power of Medaya and Valencia strongholds has been increased by 20% to before. Guild elephants have been changed to not receive damage exceeding a certain AP. However, their maximum health has been reduced by 23% compared to before to balance this. The Solare Hall of Fame, the adventurers who achieved the first place in each class during the regular AOS season, have now been placed. Remember, if you interact with them, you can get a 10% breath XP gain for 10 hours. If you still want to level your breath, this is a nice chance to grab. 10 hours is quite long, and it is for 20 energy. The Endless Winter Mountain area has also been changed to get snow. Then we have some UI changes. When you reopen the barter window, it is improved to show up at the previous scroll position, so it will no longer reset the barter window. Description text at the bottom of the barter window has also been improved to be clearer, and the left margin for the description text has been reduced. When you also click the Orzekea of your hunting ground daily quest, there's been some changes where the route guidance will now be provided. Then we have some small system changes. When right-clicking on the hunting ground field boss on the world map, the guidance to the location has been improved, so you will actually be able to place yourself a little bit closer. And then we have finally some regular fixes and changes. So changes when logging out and reconnecting while killing enemy guild members during a base battle. It would reset the guild counts. This has been fixed. There's also some general fixes for control pad users, and also some changes for NPC appearances being awkward in Ataraxian, and also some description effects for the Macalon crystals have been corrected. And that is overall it. For the recap, overall, I'm really looking forward to the guild mission changes. I am a little bit disappointed we're still at a limit of 10. That is very much a disappointment. Especially considering these reward values being adjusted for the silver boxes going away. However, I feel it is high time to break this limit up, or at least scale the limit with the guild size. Then the hardcore server changes, they look good. I'll be going back into hardcore soon. Guild Link is coming, that is also really nice. Definitely for the PvPers, it is a great enjoyment. On top of that, being able to match against your own guild can be a nice little change of pace if you don't find a match. Then finally, you have some battlefield tokens, the red battlefield changes, also quite good. Being like the AOS matchmaking system, it should avoid you ending up in a mission where you're fighting the same person solo because nobody else happened to join the match. This should unify people into more red battlefields. That should be quite nice. Hopefully it also applies a little bit on the APDP, but we'll have to see. There was no real mention of that. The Orzekea rewards look really nice. And finally, the class changes also are quite heavy on the Hashashin Ranger. Definitely, those two classes will need to look into their setups and their combos. But then again, PA has recently been changing a lot of skills on a lot of classes. There's been some really big overhauls. We'll hopefully see some more of this. And with that, I would say thank you. And if this has helped you, do give it a like and a subscription. I do read these every Friday when I'm available. And I thank you very much for your time.